Today we are building the ultimate gaming PC. Liquid-cooled RTX 4090, AMD Ryzen 9 7950X. The only thing we're missing is a dial-up modem. So I'm here today at Micro Center for the launch of that brand new RTX 4090. And oh boy, are there a lot of people in line. Like, a lot, considering this is a $1,600 graphics card and up, depending on which one you actually pick.
So wait, what time did you guys actually get here this morning?
Yesterday at like around 8 p.m.
8 p.m. So you've been here all night long?
Yeah.
You got 8 p.m. the day before.
Yeah, he's been here 2 days.
Oh, you got here 2 days ago.
Yeah.
Can I ask a question? You guys know this is a $1,600 graphics card, right?
Yeah, dedication, man.
It's cheap. Wait, who said it's cheap? Sorry, where?
I did my first build off your video 9 years ago.
Bro.
Started off with 660. Look at me now.
Let's
I've upgraded.
9 years later, you got a slightly better graphics card. Just slightly.
You were there for the RTX 3070.
You were here for RTX 3070 too.
Yeah.
Wait, so you're buying the 4090 and you're just here to support?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Really nice.
What a great friend.
This is all for a $1,600 graphics card. You can always get it at Micro Center. Okay, so we got a few cards here, and by a few, I mean, hopefully think everyone in line is gonna be able to get what they're looking for. Can I find a graphics card to start out with?
Yes.
Okay. So this is the MSI is it Supreme or Supreme? Supreme? Of course, every 4090 is incredibly high end, right? When you look at the performance. But this is liquid cooled, which means that I'm gonna have a fun time trying to fit this in the case. So let's start with this then. This is like bigger than like an Xbox box. How do I even?
Xbox box?
No one help me, okay? I can do this. Ta-da! Easily the largest graphics card I have ever touched with human hand. So the real challenge with this build is going to be in properly taking advantage of this 4090. By default, the 4090 without even touching it is gonna give us a ton of performance. But it won't give us the maximum performance if we don't pair it with essentially as much CPU horsepower as we can throw at it. I mean, I don't think there's gonna be much debate here. I think we gotta go straight for a Ryzen 9. Thank you, good sir. So this is a good start. For board, I feel like let's go with the X670E Ace.
The one in the...
The one in the case that we definitely just planted 5 seconds ago for the video? No, I mean, I'm sorry. Sorry, one of the things to consider when you're building with these cards, especially with something like a 4090, is not only the power, but also the case. A lot of the traditional cases that I would use simply will not fit a 4090. So
Look at that.
actually, a LAN-cooled 3 would work, wouldn't it? We also need space for both the power and the actual liquid cooling to come out the side because the whole card is gonna come out. Oh, did you just get the...
It was here.
I appreciate the support, my friend. We're almost there. The last major thing we're going to need for this build is going to be, yo, what's good, man?
I'm Daniel. I see your videos all the time.
Oh.
You hang out here all the time. Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, you're in one right now.
Oh, hey.
So this build might not seem as polished as normal, but the thing is, this is launch day for the RTX 4090. There are a lot of things that we have never experienced. We've never built with this card before. Even Ryzen 7000 is pretty new.
Still, yeah.
There's a lot of things to consider. So this is actually like a legitimate learning process for us. And hopefully we get it right, because...
If we don't, we're screwed.
So this is gonna be fun. Not only were we building the most powerful gaming computer I've ever built, this is gonna be one of the most powerful computers that money could buy, because with this 4090, with a Ryzen 9 7950X, I don't know how you could get more performance out of a gaming computer. Like, I really don't. Let's go ahead and take a look inside this 4090. I mean, the fact that you can run games at 4K, 120 frames per second, with ray tracing is gnarly. But then this takes it to a whole other level because it's liquid cooled. Look at this box. It comes with a mouse pad? What? It's an actual dual slot card.
Oh my God.
A normal, quote unquote, normal 4090 is entirely air cooled, which means that the card is going to be huge. But this is a true dual slot card because, well, it has some help when it comes to the radiator. So you might want to get used to looking at this connector because this is the new standard. However, not everyone's power supply is up to the PCI 5.0 spec, which is where this adapter comes in. So on one side, you can see that it is 16 pins. On the other side, you might want to plug in an 8 pin, or two 8 pins, or three 8 pins. Or 4 8-pins into one connector.
Next year, we're just gonna have to hook our PCs up to a nuclear reactor, just power it directly.
Flux capacitor,
Flux
baby.
capacitor.
Straight on the back of the system. I would recommend to look for a power supply, which is ATX 3.0. Let's take a look at some of our other components. Wow, that's a heavy board, man. Whoa.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Why?
So we've done one video on a Ryzen 7000 so far where we used a Ryzen 7 7700X, which was very powerful. But this is basically double. So this, my friends, is the Ryzen 9 7950X. 16 cores and a boost clock, I think of 5.7 gigahertz right out the box.
Oh my god, what are we doing here?
We're gamers. We don't compromise. We just,
Live in excess?
yeah. This is like the Metallica of gaming PCs.
I still don't know though. I don't know who that is.
Give me one title of a Metallica song. No, get your hands off the keyboard. Hands off the keyboard. The other thing is, if you haven't built a PC with the brand new Ryzen 7000 series processors, is that yes, you will need to get an AM5 motherboard. But one of the nice things is that we have completely changed the type of socket. So now, we've got pins on the actual socket instead of the CPU. You can see it's got that nice little line, so it's very easy to kind of line them up. While it's still a new socket, it maintains compatibility with AM4 coolers. So anything like our Galahad should just bolt straight on to your brand new AM5 chip. Let's load up some RAM. Look, I'm gonna be real, I'm enjoying this part of the build because this is the easy part and not the part where I have to actually figure out how this is all gonna get stuffed into the case, because this is gonna be tight. Let's throw in our SSD, in fact. It's funny, even though it's been out for, oh man, it's probably almost 2 years now, I still think the Samsung 980 Pro is my favorite SSD still. The performance, the reliability. Ooh, that's a beefy heatsink. So the actual mounting mechanism here, not only do you have the little plastic retention, which is nice, so you can just kind of slide it right around, but on top of that, you've got this little ball, so essentially it kind of pops into place here. So literally completely toolless installation between popping the SSD in as well as putting the cover on. It all just pops together. Oh wow, look at that. This is actually my first time working with the Lian Li LanCool 3. A lot of our components are black, silver, and white. What are you doing? Why? I heard tape and I immediately grabbed the camera because I knew something bad was going
Look,
on.
you mismatched the color scheme on
I mismatched what?
So this is a black radiator. We're making it white.
I hate that this is actually not like a horrible idea, it's just a bad idea.
You know, I have done this way too many times to the point where you have not even noticed.
Okay, well speaking of speaking of being a skilled
Yeah.
Speaking of being a skilled craftsman, we have ripped out a whole lot of stuff from the case. So we've pretty much removed every like 2.5 inch and 3.5 inch sort of drive bay. Anything we can do to not only sort of free ourselves up with some extra cooling, but also to give ourselves some extra room for some cable management. I've flipped that rear fan. We've got the 3 fans all set up as intake. We've got the power supply on the bottom, but importantly, the power supply is actually facing downward. So it is entirely focused on pushing that hot air out of the power supply. Well, my friends, that actually went, I will say, pretty smoothly all considering. What did this take us? An hour and a half, maybe 2 hours total? So why don't we just see if this actually posts, shall we? Plug it in, make sure the power supply is on. Do you have any RGB action?
Nope.
Okay, well, here goes nothing. Whoa! That's a lot of RGB. RAM's coming up, graphics card's coming up. Hey! Hey! Ayo, it's time to make a video about this PC. I don't want to brag, but I think this worked first try. So you've probably seen the wealth of AI-generated art that has flooded the internet this year thanks to various different services such as DALL-E, you've got Stable Diffusion, you've got Midjourney, sorry, DALL-E 2, I apologize. Typically what you have to do with these things is pay for tokens online or subscription or run through Discord, but using something called Stable Diffusion, we can actually do our own AI art generation on a computer. And let me tell you what that loves to have. The maximum amount of bandwidth and GPU horsepower you can possibly throw at it.
So I'm gonna do just this is like the basic default prompt. They have a photograph of an astronaut riding a horse.
Okay.
So this is my baseline. If this is as powerful as I think it is, this should be like 20 seconds tops.
Oh wow, that's fast. Oh my God, look how fast that is.
Bam!
Whoa!
16.611 seconds. Whatever.
Again, on a 3070 Ti laptop, that image by itself was 45 seconds, maybe?
So this is another one I've tried, but we're also gonna crank this up. 4 of these at the same time, double the resolution. Make image.
Now, power draw wise, we're at 456 watts. So this thing is pulling some power. Dude, the detail on this, like the resolution is massive. I'm not sure why he has a hole in the side of his head.
We'll fix that in a second.
I think the second one looks to me a lot better. Oh yeah, as it's cleaning up and getting the detail.
This one's just like, I'm tired of this.
Why is his tail off?
All right, so what I want to try is RTX 4090 graphics card. Oh, okay, hey, that's a graphics card?
Yeah.
Graphics card? Graphics card?
So-
Look, it's working. I mean, that's not RTX, that's definitely a little AMD look.
I will refine the selection. Green, graphics card, computer, metal.
My dude, that's quite the prompt.
This looks like an NVIDIA commercial.
Oh, this is kind of sick.
It does like to do that weird thing where it just, instead of rendering out an entire image, it'll just crop like to the
It's
side
artsy,
there.
right?
Yeah.
It's artsy.
So after spending time with Stable Diffusion and kind of seeing the power of this 4090, I think it's worth taking a look at some other demos. This is the classroom demo in Blender, which is rendering a 1536 by 8640 pixel image. Now, I will say that I don't typically do a lot of stuff in Blender, but looking at the level of detail with this system, I mean, look at this. Look at how in depth. Like that's crazy. All rendered in 13 minutes on the 4090. So we are running Cyberpunk 2077 at 4K, ultra settings, no DLSS, and we've got the ray tracing set to Psycho. Oh wow. Whoa. We figured it out! 4K Psycho! That's the only thing that can bring this thing down. Why don't we actually try to turn it from Psycho to Ultra, turn a little DLSS on and see. There we go. 68 FPS. This is actually like a weird problem to have. Before, if you're building a gaming PC, you can always push it higher, especially as soon as ray tracing was invented. But now we've got the capability, if you've got a very large amount of money, to build a system which can crush almost every single thing you could throw at it. Which almost begs the question, is this excessive? I think it is. You don't need this much performance. If you want it, our kind sponsors at Microsoft will be happy to sell you all the high-end PC components that you could ever want. But I think for mere mortals, we don't need this power.